Welcome back to Bay Area Panthers Weekly. I'm Mike Pulaski, and right now we're going to talk about O-line play. Now, nobody gives these guys enough love, and as a former quarterback, I got to tell you, there is no more important position group on the field than the big boys up front. They set the tone for the entire team. Whether you're an offensive team or a defensive team, if your O-line isn't tough, if they aren't hard-nosed, if they aren't bringing it in practice, it sets the tone for the entire team. And so these guys are really the backbone that you build a football team around. And so I love having them on the show whenever possible. Right now, Christian Coulter, offensive lineman for the Bay Area Panthers, is joining me. And Christian, welcome to the show, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
I ask everybody, how did you find your way to the IFL? How did you end up with the Panthers?
Well, it started all a long time ago, back when I was a small kid in the front yard, just like everybody else, just, starting out, picking up a ball, trying to see what it is, and you finally find a game that you love. So, started my career at about 6 or 7, started playing tackle football down in Thompson, Georgia, which was a small town about 2 hours outside of Atlanta, about 20 minutes away from Augusta. From there, graduated from Thompson High School, went to Division II Tusculum in Greenville, Tennessee, for my freshman year after COVID and all those things started to happen and messed up the world. I eventually transferred to Western Carolina University, where I played for 3 years and eventually graduated from there. After that, I declared for the draft. Things didn't really go my way, so I kind of sat out, took a little break year at home, went back and reconnected with family and just finding my way, in life and stuff like that. And one day I got a call from Coach Moss, and he just asked how would I feel about coming to play out in California for the Bay Area Panthers. And once I heard football and then California, everything, it was easy. It was an easy decision for me from there. Also, getting on the phone with Coach Keith, just hearing how he wanted to change things and help me get to the place that I feel where I should be, and also just aligning our goals. So that's how I ended up here in the Bay Area.
How do you like the Panthers?
I love the Panthers. Great team, just a great group of guys. We all got the same vision, same mission, obviously, which is to win the IFL championship while we're here. But, just like everybody else wants to in the world and then in life, just trying to continue to get to that bigger stage and that bigger level to showcase our talents.
You heard me talk about the offensive line at the top of the show. The offensive line has to set the tone for the entire team. Tell me about the group of guys you play with here with the Panthers.
Right now we got a pretty interesting group of guys. Right now it's about 5 of us. There's me, Cindy Walker, Jaime Navarro. You got Delvin Salter and Dallas Holiday. It's just a big melting pot, I would say. A lot of different personalities, but all focused on the same goal. All smart, athletic, physical guys who just want to play ball. That's what I love about our group. We go to practice every day. We have fun. Even in our meeting rooms, we have fun. So it's kind of more or less like a job and just still, still give me that kid feeling of the game when you just got those guys around you every day, pushing you, encouraging you. We're learning from each other, teaching each other, helping each other, just all trying to get better. So it's a great group of guys. Love my O-line right now.
I had an opportunity to speak to several of them. I like them too. So when I played, the game is definitely different from when I played. But, I had hard-nosed coaches back in college. Dan Cazzetta was our offensive line coach, really, really good coach, but he had dudes banging heads all the time because you don't get good pad level unless you hit. You have to hit and get your pads down. And then when I went to the Arena League, Mike Daly, who's one of the greatest indoor football coaches of all time, just a phenomenal football coach, but he was an O-line coach, and he had those dudes banging every single day. How much do you guys bang? And how much?
I would say
How often are you guys hitting heads?
depending on the day of the game and how quick the turnaround is, maybe like 1 or 2 days out of the week. But in the churches, you're always gonna bang heads, whether you got on just a t-shirt or if you got on the shoulder pads. That's just how it's gonna be. So we probably bang about a good 2 days out of the week, ready to get back off the bye weekend and get ready on Tuesday and go bang a little bit.
Coming off a bye week, he really kind of puts the screws back down, right? Coach Keefe said he turns it back up, turns up the heat a little bit early on. What's that like?
He turned it up a little bit. We go have a really competitive practice on that Tuesday. Try to get that bye week up out of us. Try to refocus. A little bit more competition on that Tuesday, just to get everybody the edge back, so we can try to refocus and recenter and continue focusing on the goal that we want to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's your first year in the league this year.
Mm-hmm.
Technically a rookie, but you're 8 games in, so there's no more rookie left in, right? You've seen it. What's your impression of this team, where it stands, And then what is your focus for the final 8 games here?
As of right now, I feel like we're a great team. We're finally starting to gel. People are stepping up in different places when the numbers are called. Maybe they didn't play last week, or even if maybe they just didn't play that last play. Everyone's finally stepping up. I wouldn't say we're just now figuring out the game. We've been kind of figuring out the game as we've been moving along. I feel like we have a pretty young team. We got a lot of returners on defense, but offense, I would say we were a pretty young team at first, especially up front as an O-line. This is all of our first year in the IFL. So we're definitely moving in the right direction. Our focus for the next 8 games is just to finish. Finish where we started. We talk about winning a championship every day. So just continue to come to work and working on that main goal. Just trying to win the championship every day.
As a guy who's in it for his first year, what are the differences from the big field game to the indoor game for you as an offensive line? I mean, I know you guys play in a phone booth,
Yeah.
but what are the differences for you?
Definitely more. It's a lot more one-on-ones, but I kind of like cater to my game. One-on-ones is where I feel like I thrive the best. So definitely also like the speed, some of the rules and stuff like that. You don't really have to worry about no corners coming out the edge, making no fan calls. We always made that joke in the room. So definitely just like losing those extra people. But I mean, for us up front, it's still football. You still got to take this man from point A to point B. So the guys behind you and the guys outside of you who actually touch the ball, so they can get to where they want to go. And that's our main goal. So as long as we can continue to do that, it won't really be much of a change.
So I noticed that the offensive line here loves to celebrate in the end zone with you.
Yeah.
Talk about what that feels like as a big boy running down there.
Uh, it feels great, because when they score, I feel like we score. So usually during the week, we try to plan them out when we score at practice. Every receiver or Josh or Tomas, whoever getting the ball, we just kind of let them, figure out how they want to celebrate their touchdown. It was a big thing, especially early because everybody's getting their first ones. Like I said, we're not a lot of rookies, but still a young team. So we just kind of take it and have fun with it. So we just kind of that's just how we've been kind of gelling, just having fun with the celebration. It just keep the pressure off everybody. Just having fun it allows us to just run around and have fun with each other.
That's awesome. What is your favorite part of playing offensive line?
Just being violent, because going home for that year, it kind of make it take a step back. You can't really be as violent in the real world because you got repercussions for that. But
Yeah, you get in trouble if you're that.
yeah, you get in trouble for that. But when you get on the football field, it's just me versus another man. And I just have to win my one-on-one battles or, win with my brothers and my teammates. So I just love the violence it brings. It just brings out a different side of me from what people see on the average daily.
Yeah, you don't seem like a really violent guy until you step between those lines, right?
Yeah.
Fun loving. Talk about how somebody was telling me that they have team barbecues going on.
Mhm.
How much time do you guys spend together as a team?
We spend a lot of time together. I'm pretty sure everybody stays a little closer to somebody, but at all chances, we have appearances. We do all type of things together. So it's just a great group of guys. So even after practice, you'll catch us. We still 20 minutes later after the fact in the locker room. Everybody's still there. Nobody went home yet because we just enjoying each other's time. But definitely we have barbecues here at the apartments. We go to the pool, the hot tub. Some people will go shoot around sometimes. We'll go catch a lift together. So just really all the time, anytime that we could share the time, create a bond, which would help us in the end, we'll always take that opportunity.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons I love the Arena League more than I love the big field game. My two favorite teams of all time was my senior college team, right? We were number 7 in the country. We beat Clemson in the Citrus Bowl. But then the Arena League, we won the national or the what we call the World Championship back then, the Arena Bowl. And that team was so close because it was a small locker room and it was a good group of guys that just loved hanging out together. And when you find a team like that, it's something special.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely hard to rattle a team who knows what the guys beside him are going to do before he even does it.
No doubt. No doubt. How do you like playing for Coach Keefe?
I love playing for Coach Keith. He's really energetic. So he always gets everybody going, gets the day started. He never lacks energy, and that's one thing that I loved about him from the start. Even on the phone, I could just hear the excitement in his voice when he was just talking about his goals and his visions for the season and just for us as players and him as coaches and how he's going to push us, push himself, push the coaches. just playing for him, it's been a great experience. He's a great coach, and I'm just glad that they took a shot on me and allowed me to come out here to the Bay Area.
Yeah, I was talking with Axel Perez because Coach Moss recruited him as well.
Mhm.
Coach Moss actually recruited me as well to go to the
Yeah.
Arena League. And so he's been in this game for a long, long time. You have a different relationship with Coach Moss because you mentioned it just a little bit there. You actually play with his son, right?
I did. Played together at Tuscaloosa my freshman year. Jake was one of my receivers, and I was just a freshman from small town Georgia, trying to figure my way out into college. Jake's definitely a great guy. I can see where he gets it from because Coach Moss is a great man. He's a great coach. Just connecting with his son and then eventually connecting with him, it was just a great experience for me. Made this process go by even faster, made it even easier. Just communicating with Coach Moss, it kind of felt like I already knew a part of him because I already had to play with his son. So just a great connection to have for sure.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. What is your main focus now? I mean, so you're going to play here, obviously, your team, you're focusing on this season, but what do you want to do after this?
After this, I want to continue to chase my dreams, get to the NFL, get on that big stage and play against the guys that I feel like I could compete with, day in, day out, just how they do in the NFL on Sundays. So I'm just using this as a stepping stone, but still, keeping my feet where they are while I'm here. I'm gonna just continue to challenge everybody, so they can see that I deserve to get that shot.
What is it going to take to get that for you?
Uh, Me personally, I'm just have to go harder. Even when I look at something and be like, oh, that was a good job, you got to critique and be like, I could do this better, or I could do this better. Never stop and learning, taking small pieces from other people's game, adding it to my game, continue to, evolve my game, watching film, studying other players, studying myself, studying opponents, formation, schemes, anything, any small things that can allow me to get better or get a one up on the next person. That's just what I have to do to get to that next level.
You know who Carol Dweck is? Have you ever heard that name?
No, I have.
Carol Dweck is the inventor of the growth mindset, right? So she is a psychologist who developed it and talked about it in her book Mindset. And you just described the growth mindset, right? As long as I put in the work, as long as I do my job, as long as I learn, as long as I'm always reaching, then I will continue to grow. And so it's a beautiful thing. It's one of the most important things that people can have in life. A growth mindset means a happy life. As long as you're always alive, you're always learning, you're always improving, which is awesome. What is this team going to have to do to get a championship this year?
We're just gonna have to continue to get better. Every day we're gonna have to go to practice. And Coach Keith likes to say things are wins. We have this joke. We win the coin toss on away games. That's a win. So as long as we can continue to win day, get 1% better every day, push each other. Study a little harder in the film room. Get a little extra work in. Just do the small stuff that other teams won't do. Do the extra things that other people may see as tiring or just something that they don't feel as if is that important. We just have to do it that much better than everyone else.
That and then execute it in the moment. And they're going to have great offensive line play as well. Well, that'll do it for this week's edition of Bay Area Panthers Weekly. Don't forget, catch the game this Saturday, June 7th, 6:05 p.m. at the SAP Center in San Jose. If you can't make it, and you should make it, but if you can't, you can always catch our game live right here on the radio, KMBR 1050. Kevin Richardson and myself will have the call. Pregame starts at 5:50. Coach Keefe, big thanks. Axel Perez had a kicker on tonight. How about that? He's going to be a big part of the playoff run for this team. And of course, offensive line play is essential, as are you. And I appreciate you guys listening tonight. That'll do it from here. I'm Mike Pulaski for Bay Area Panthers Weekly. I'll catch you next week.